What's up, guys? Welcome back to Roensch Capital Charts. Today we're taking a look at Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR, on a variety of time frames in anticipation of the next trading day, Tuesday, February 20th. So yes, do not forget, the market is closed this coming Monday for President's Day. So we have a long weekend of analysis here ahead of us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping to hit 1,000 subs by market open Tuesday. I think that's a great goal here now. But let's get into this, looking at Palantir again on a number of different time frames, starting here with the 1 minute intraday chart. Take a look at some potential intraday opportunity that we may have had here on Palantir today. Try to generate some revenue via scalping around a core position. So if we take a look here, you'll actually notice that we established a rather wide channel early in the day here on Palantir. With that, we saw that pre-market tank off, and then a kind of an opening drive pump, and then dump, and then we consolidated for a big chunk of the remainder of the day until we headed, kind of inevitably lower, finishing the day down 97 cents a share, about 3.82% here. Now, as far as intraday opportunity is concerned here on Palantir, I'm kind of scanning the chart. I, of course, was watching it all day today. I'm scanning the chart looking for repeat offender setups. I'm scanning the chart looking for breathe and goes. Really, I'm looking for anything here. And Palantir, I would not say from an intraday scalping mentality, it was not particularly in play today. So as far as intraday opportunity to kind of try to generate some revenue, not really a lot of edge intraday on Palantir. And when there's not a lot of edge, I stay away. I'm only going to trade stocks that have edge, meaning they're in play. There are a lot of eyeballs, elevated relative volume, things like that. If you guys find yourselves looking for some direction, come on, join our group. We have, of course, the Gold membership, the Gold Plus membership. We have Gold Plus UOA and Platinum one-on-one. All the prices do go up over time. They have consistently for the last 3 years. But whatever rate you join at, you'll get grandfathered in at that rate, and then it will never raise on you again as long as you remain an active member. As far as Platinum one-on-one is concerned, I keep that group relatively small, but there are a few spots left as of the recording of this video. So take a look. I encourage you to join up, but keep in mind, I learned how to do all of this for free. You absolutely do not have to spend money to learn. It just might help expedite things. So let's move on here from intraday, since Palantir really wasn't that in play today, and let's take a look at bigger picture day-to-day mentality stuff like volume here on the 5 minute, seeing if we can get any moves that clearly correlate with elevated volume to help us see, okay, is there a bigger sample size of the market that agrees with this particular sentiment, right? Bullish or bearish. And you can see here, okay, well, what moves can we look at? We can look at this bigger opening drive, although it's immediately off the open. We already expect, we have to be contextual, that that's going to have higher volume than is typical. So we have to consider that. And then you have this fall here, and this grind here, and then the rest of the movement during the day was not all that extraordinary. So let's take a look. Interestingly here on Palantir, you can see that we actually had elevated volume on this relatively large red candle. Okay, the bears are going to look at that and they're going to be relatively happy about that. Bulls just understand that. Okay, this red candle here, we also saw elevated volume. Okay, and that was a pretty decisive red candle as well. However, after that candle, we actually just saw consolidation into the close. So bears are going to look at this volume candle and say, good, big sample size, the market agrees, over 2 million shares on that 5 minute candle agrees with my sentiment. But the bulls are going to look at that consolidation heading into the close, heading into this long weekend here, and be a little more comfortable that that was what followed. So let's move on here to the 30-minute chart and start getting contextual day-to-day with our self-fulfilling prophecy psychological levels. All right, we're going to look at that 50 period, that white line, and that 200 period. So you can see here that both of these are really, in play come next week. Right now, the immediate concern for me, if I'm looking at this from a bullish perspective, ideally get back above that 200 period, because really the ultimate goal is, we gave up 25 bucks a share today. That's not necessarily ideal, but it's just one day, okay? The ultimate goal is to get back above 25 bucks a share, but that 50 period on the 30-minute chart in particular is just 2.7% away. And, the stock was down 3.8%. That is absolutely in the conversation from a day-to-day perspective. So really a reclaim of both of those would be ideal, looking at this from a bullish perspective come Tuesday. Now, if I'm a bear looking at this 30-minute chart here, obviously, I just want to see a hard rejection off of that 200 period, stay below 25 here. Okay, let's move on now to the 4-hour chart and take a look. You can see that the bulls are actually going to be happy to see this. See that 50 period, that white line, the most immediately relevant one here on the 4-hour? That is now approximately just 4% away. That thing has made light work through the low 20s. From a bullish perspective, I've been looking at that one saying, I just want to see that ideally come upside as quickly as possible, get some feet up underneath this big move that we've seen, right? Some psychological potential support. And the thing has been moving. Just since we covered this yesterday, it's up another almost 4% while the stock's down. Of course, that's a positive thing to see. So here on the 4-hour bulls, you just want to see that 50 period continuing upside. Bears, ideally, it's time to start thinking about a downside break through that area. Bulls, if we were to see a test of that, I expect, first of all, that come Tuesday, this will move a little bit higher still. But if we were to see a downside test of that 50 period, bulls, you're going to want to see that hold. Now, let's move on to arguably the most important chart of all, and that is going to be the daily. This is what everybody's paying attention to, okay? We can see here that, things start getting really obvious on the daily because we no longer have that 50-day in play, that 200-day is not in play. Those are way down 18 and 16 bucks a share approximately. So what do we have to deal with here on the daily? Purely the psychological levels. Really, really simple here. Bulls, come Tuesday, 25 bucks a share is the goal. Reclaim it, and ideally, if we could have a strong green day, get above 25.50. That's that recent high that we've seen. Okay, bears, it's even more simple for you. Hold below 25 come Tuesday, and I think the bears kind of win that day. Really quick here, implied volatility. Currently sitting in the mid-range, low compared to very recently, but mid-range more so compared to the last, 3 months or so. Just understand that if you're trading options, the lower IV goes. If you own options, the more IV crush you're going to face, but the lower IV goes, typically, that presents more favorable, a more favorable scenario or conditions for those looking to buy fresh options. Okay, let's take a look at the options bias here from today, Friday, as we head into next week, Tuesday. 500,000 total contracts traded. That's going to be a good sample size. We have 307,000 of those were calls. 192,000 of those were puts. Okay, so we are seeing a bullish bias here on the overall call put ratio. Now the delta, the short-term speculators, that 0 to 20 delta range, 84,000 calls compared to just 78,000 puts. All right, that's relatively undecided, actually, just a slight lean to the call bias side. But as you go down here, look at this, 21 to 40, 41 to 60. You go toward at the money and then in the money. Palantir is leaning call bias here on every front, overall, and every single delta range. Okay, here on Friday. Listen, as always, the options traders, that's what they're telling us. This is real data. Okay, but they can of course be wrong. So make sure your risk is managed regardless. Listen, if you got value out of the video, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.